Hey everybody, it's Lisa Young Sutton with a new video for you. And first of all, let me introduce you to my Wonderland Lenormand deck and mat that I just got last week. Now this is the mini, okay? This is Lorene's Wonderland Lenormand. You can get this on her from her website, DivinationApothecary. Okay, and I also got the mat, and this is a double-sided mat actually, and I had her design the other side for method of distance GTs, so you will be seeing that in an upcoming video. Okay, now today I am presenting part one of a two-part series on the master method. And if you are looking to breathe new life into your grand tableaus, then my friends, look no further, because the master method, also known as Lenormand nines or the square of 36, will enable you to view houses in a whole new way. Now, this method was first mentioned in an 1875 book. Okay, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. It's French. L'Araque Parfait. L'Araque Parfait. I decided I'm going to learn French. I don't know when I'm going to find the time, but I'm going to do it before I leave this planet. Hang on, I need a drink of water. Okay. Now, like so many techniques and card systems during this period, the book attributes this technique to Mademoiselle Lenormand, which in all probability is a fallacy, like everything else. But it doesn't matter. Though, this method was designed for use with playing cards, not for use with the Lenormand deck. It was just named after her, but it was designed for use with playing cards, which she did read with. So, you know, there might be a little bit of truth in there. No, I doubt it. Okay. Now, the fact that this system, the interpretations are primarily based on the suits of the cards rather than the playing card meanings makes it perfectly suitable for the Lenormand deck, because, you know, in Lenormand we don't have a full playing card deck, but we do have all the suits represented, so it works out fine. This is a system that Camellia Elias uses. This is, I believe, her primary house method when she reads Lenormand. And if you take her course, her Lenormand course, or she has two, you will learn the master method when you get to the houses. So anyway, okay, now in today's video I'm going to demonstrate how I originally learned this method, and that was to use the master method house meanings in conjunction with the Lenormand cards rather than the playing card insets. Now in tomorrow's video I'm going to demonstrate how I actually use this method now, and that is to lay a separate GT with the intention of only reading the playing card insets along with a master method, or along with the master method house meanings, followed by a past, present, future box reading around the primary significator card. And it's got specified placement meanings, and it's really cool. It's very unique, and you will see that in tomorrow's video. So let's get back to today's video. As I said, I'm going to use these house meanings in conjunction with the Lenormand cards, reading them in the same way I normally do, but with these distinct house meanings. Now, I wrote out my interpretation of the house meanings and have included them in a PDF in the description box below. And for those of you who don't know, when you look at that description box below the videos, it says, it only gives you like a few sentences and then it says show more. You have to click on that because there's a ton of stuff there. And I can't tell you how many videos I used to watch and I never knew that. And, you know, and then when I learned, I was like, why doesn't anybody tell me this stuff? Anyway, okay. Now, there's another place you can find the master method house meanings, and that is in Andy B's book. Look, I'm showing a different book today. Ooh, she's branching out. Where will it end? Okay, so he does have a small master method section. It's just only a few pages, but he gives the, you know, like the abbreviated meanings, just one word basically. So, you know, some are few words, but in the one that I wrote out, in the PDF, you'll find those one-word meanings along with a description of what the house actually means. And then I included a little sentence at the end, which was my way of remembering what the houses meant by linking them some way to the card meaning. You know what I mean? Like, you'll understand it when you read it. Okay, now what makes this method different? Well, each house has a unique meaning that relates to a particular area of life or an issue or an interest. And while many of the houses correlate with the Lenormand cards of that same number, many don't. Many are actually the opposite. So I am not going to interpret this entire GT, but I'm simply going to provide enough examples so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. And then I thought what you could do, what you might enjoy doing after I explain what this GT is all about, you can use these, the same spread and use the PDF and look at all the house meanings, and you can take the story further, and then you can put, what you find in the description or in the comments rather, or you can ask questions, whatever. But I thought you'd have fun with that. Okay, so now this spread was laid for a man who's in a same-sex relationship, which is why we have the two gentlemen cards. Are they adorable or what? So the primary, I give the primary the card that matches the house. So as you can see, that the house has that picture. So he is the primary. And actually, the partner falls in. It's not his house, though. You're gonna understand that in a minute. It's not actually his house. These houses have different meanings. Okay, so this is a GT for Jason and Orpheus. Jason is the primary, Orpheus is his partner. All right. So this is primarily a spread about their relationship. Okay. So let's see what we got here. I'm gonna get this thing rolling. All right. So now Jason lands in house 33. Now, house 33 is the house of indifference and neglect. So right off the bat, I know that Jason is neglecting something, or he's just indifferent about to something. Now, just like with any other GT, I look to the surrounding cards, and the cards that connect the primary to the partner to tell me more. Now, Jason connects to Orpheus primarily through the whip and secondarily through the house. So we know that there's conflict at home. They do live together, okay? So we also have scythe-facing house. So we know that, there's discord at home. Jason's, taking risks. He's, the house is at risk of being split, of being cut. Right? Okay. Now, the house of book, because this is an important card, obviously, it connects the two of them, and it is the card of the house, right, of their home. So I look at the, I'm sorry, this is the book card, but I am going to look at that in a second. But the house of book is where the scythe falls, okay? And the house of book is the house of long-term projects. So this refers to their long-term relationship. And there are a few cards in here that told me that they were in a long-term relationship, which Jason did confirm. Okay, so the house lands in the house of letter. The house of letter is the house of change, right? So something at home is changing, okay? Something needs to change, something is changing. All right, now Orpheus lands in the house of man. But that is the house of endings, negativity, and sadness. It's often the house of bereavement, so that makes it even more serious, right? So I'm seeing that this relationship is heading for an end, just based on that even. The funny thing is the house of man is given the meaning of negativity and endings and sadness, and the house of woman is like, what is it? It's rewards and You would swear a woman came up with this system, but I don't believe a woman did. Anyway, though it's possible. Maybe Mademoiselle Lenormand did come up with this. Okay, anyway, so the whip. Now I'm going to read the fate line because it is his line of sight. But, you know, I would read the fate line anyway because, you know, like I said, you're still tackling this GT as you would any other. You're going to read your corners and your first 3 cards and your fate line and all of that. But you're just using these unique house meanings, okay? But for this video, I am going to look at this, his line of sight, Jason's line of sight. So we have the whip lands in the house of fish, which is the house of advantage gained through one's efforts. And we got the card of effort, repeated effort in there. So Jason is going to whip this thing until he gets what he wants, all right? And then we have cross lands in anchor. And anchor is the house of influence, power, and ambition. So this tells me that he's going to endure the struggles, right? Enduring struggles, that's the cross meaning. In order to influence this situation, in order to get what he wants. So he is certainly ambitious because look at the card that touches that. Here we got the card of ambition, right? But directly above we have the fox, okay? And it's in the house of appreciation and rewards. That was the other word I couldn't think of. The house of lady is the house of appreciation and rewards. So he certainly feels that he's not being appreciated for all that he's endured in this relationship. He may even be feeling like a martyr, like he's suffered, you know, like taken care of this guy, and you know, I did so much for him, and you know, that kind of thing. So we know Orpheus did something to upset Jason. So let's keep going. All right, now the ring lands in the house of cross, which is the house of illness. Okay, so it's the house of health, but it specifically relates to poor health, you know, illness. And I kind of thought that was a better house than using the tree, actually, for that. But anyway, so, you know, we have the ring there, so we know that this relationship is suffering. And with Tower above in the house of Lily, which is the house of scandal and disgrace, and it has clouds above it, we know he's endured a feeling of disgrace for a long time. He feels a loss of reputation due to what? Well, let's look at Orpheus. Let's look at what cards are around Orpheus. Well, the letter is right above him, and it's in the house of garden, which is the house of dishonesty and deceit. Okay? So what has been communicated has been that, you know, dishonesty and deceit regarding Orpheus. So it's now becoming clear that Orpheus has disgraced Jason, or at least Jason sees it that way. Now Tower falls between Fox and Mountain. So Orpheus has wrongly brought an enemy into the relationship. Okay, they're in his line. Well, he actually gets the column, but they are linked to him regardless. And there are other cards that led me to that as well. Okay, now if we look above the fox, we have the moon is in the house of Mountain. And of course we have Mountain here. So right away I wanted to look at that. And, you know, the fact that it's touching Orpheus made it important to me. And the house of Mountain is the house of rivals, competition, and conflict. So it's basically the same as the Mountain meaning, you know, enemies and opposition and all that. So, you know, he's surrounded with deceit and opposition and competition and rivals and all of that. Like I said, when you look at that PDF and look at all these house meanings and the cards that go in them, you're going to take this story even further, but it will all correlate. Okay, now there's an important relationship house in the Master Method, and that's house 14, the house of Fox, which is the house of relationships. And here we have Rider. So we know that somebody new came in, you know, into this relationship, right? And because of all these other cards, you know, I'm like, it's looking like Orpheus brought an unwanted, unwelcome visitor in, right? And if you read the corners and the first three cards, you get the idea that Jason's going to get what he wants. He's going to, you know, sort this out. He's going to get the truth out of Orpheus. He's probably going to end the relationship. I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but anyway. I mean, you know, just look at the house of Ring. Okay, and the house of Ring here is the house of cooperation. And, you know, it's the house of relationships. And like Fox is the house of love, right? And your primary relationship. But this is the house of like cooperation and like how dependent are you on someone else, that kind of thing, which fits with the Ring. And we have an escape route there. We have the crossroads there. So, you know, it's the card of an alternate route, an escape route, you know, going a different way. So as you can see, the master, or this method of using master houses is very straightforward. That these house meanings are very straightforward, and you know, you're still interpreting your Lenormand cards as you always do, but when you combine them with these house methods, I think you're really going to enjoy the information that you get. And like I said, tomorrow you're going to see a whole nother way of using this master method, and you can lay a GT and read it the way you normally do with, like, you know, we call them the Game of Hope houses, right? The standard house interpretation method of just reading them, interpreting them as the card meaning, right? You can do that, right? And then lay a second GT just using the master method houses with the suit meanings that, like I said, you'll find, oh no, you won't find those in today's PDF. They'll be in tomorrow's. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to ruin tomorrow for you. Anyway, but you're going to see just how much more information you can get out of incorporating this method into your standard practice. Okay, so that is it for today. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, if it is still Sunday where you are, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody, and thanks for watching.